Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutat Kamlam Shri Guraina Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sajritam Sahaganaganathritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganlalita Shri Vishakhanatavascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Mother, I have shared with you 2 videos, if you then can play here. So I thank everybody, those who have joined me here. What's this? The one. Yes. There are 2, one this and one this. No. So I thank you all for inviting me here. Actually, a bit of distraction is going on because right now in India it's 5 a.m. So I go live at 5 a.m. every day. And there's a big group that joins me for chanting. So that's happening for the last 1500 days, more than 1500 days now. So that's why I had to make them live on my YouTube channel as well. So I go live on the Zoom, my Zoom and my YouTube simultaneously. So that's why they had all joined in from there. So they were all watching. I gave them the darshan of the deities here so that they can see the deities take the darshan. So I thank you all, and as Prabhuji just said, that yes, it was the mercy of Guru Maharaj, Shri Gurudev, that I was asked to preach, and I was just into, you want to keep it? So I had met my spiritual master in 99. Me and my husband, we had met Guru Maharaj in the year 1999. And it was just that I was, how to say is, I was looking for some answers which had come up to me as my, you'll have to mute them, I think so. And as my father, material father, left this planet at the age of 64, I had some very deep questions that came out that same very night. So I wanted to have answers for those questions. And I was very, very inquisitive. I wanted the answers. I'm very determined always in my life. I have been like that. So whatever I want to do, it's Krishna's mercy. I try to accomplish that. So when I got these questions in mind, that very same night at 3:30 a.m. when he left the body, on 22nd December, it was in 1998, 22nd December 1998. So I had a lot of questions. So these, basically there were 3 main questions, which I later came to know that is actually the first line of the Vedanta Sutra, Athatha Brahma Jigyasa. I had that Jigyasa. Who are we? Why are we born? Why do we die? Where we go after death? So what's the purpose of human life? I wanted to know. By that time I was an accomplished fashion designer and I had my own business. And my husband had his own business with his father, the family business he was running. But I had established my own business as well by that time. But then when I got these questions in me, I was looking for the answers. And that happened to cut short that story, you can read. It got printed in the International BTG from America in 2008. So I was looking for answers, and somehow or the other I reached Vrindavan, first time in my life, in the year 99, May 99, 15th May 99. We were in Vrindavan for the first time, and first time we were in the ISKCON temple. So we just entered the temple and a devotee took us around. Somehow or the other Krishna arranged it. A devotee came forward and he said, "You are coming here first time?" I said, "Yes." And he took us around to Prabhupada Samadhi immediately. And then he took us up on the Prabhupada Samadhi, the first floor. And then he handed us the Maha Mantra, the paper of Maha Mantra to me. And he said, "Chant on every flower, the lotus." And we chanted our first round in our life. That was the 108 times around Srila Prabhupada. That was the first round of chanting I did. We both of us did, first time in our lives. And then he took us inside to the temple hall, and we had darshan of the deities. I didn't know who God and I are, of course. So, but Krishna, Balaram, I could actually, I could identify it. And then Radha Shyam Sundar, of course, Radha Krishna, the whole India knows. So I knew who Radha Krishna are. So Radharani was so beautiful that I really had a connection with her at that time. And then he took us into the Prabhupada quarters, where he told us all about Prabhupada, his mission, his Bhagavad Gita, his establishing ISKCON, and how Prabhupada had given this philosophy. And then I felt, yes, this is the right place where I was looking for the answers, I'm getting them. And I got the answers. I got the answers for the purpose of human life there and then in Prabhupada quarters. It was very, very astonishing for me. And then I asked him what all this tilak is. I also wanted to have a tilak. Then he got us the bead bags. And he requested us to stay till the evening to experience the aarti. And it was 10 o'clock in the morning at that time. And it was 15th of May. It was very, very hot in India and very hot in Vrindavan. So, but somehow my husband also said, okay, we will stay. And we stayed till the evening. We were whole day in the temple attending the kirtan going on. So 24-hour kirtan was going on. Then at 1 o'clock the afternoon, they shut the doors, and then we came back at 4 o'clock. We kept on, we were sitting outside in the heat of May, and then as soon as the temple opened up, we came back into the hall at 4:15 and we again joined the kirtan. And then we attended the aarti till the evening, and then we came back to Delhi. So after that, we started going to the very nearby center in Punjabi Bagh. We lived in Punjabi Bagh, and there was a very small center, just 2 minutes, a car drive from our home, just a 5-minute walk. And then we started going there. It was a very small temple in a garage. And there I met Guru Maharaj one day. He had come back in the 99, he had come back from America, and before Janmashtami he was there in the temple. So I met him there, and then there was no looking back. There was always, then I wanted to always be there. Wherever he went, we wanted to follow, both of us, husband and wife. We wanted to be there in his lectures all the time, wherever he gave in Delhi. Delhi, he would preach a lot. He would go to there were so many centers coming up in Delhi at that time. But the only one big temple was the east of Kailash, the Shri Radha Parthasarthi temple. That was big enough. It had opened up. It's a huge temple, still the mother temple of all the temples. So that temple had come up by 98. So then we visited that temple as well, and we would go for lectures and attend these Guru Maharaj classes there. And then we were following him, asking him for service. He had no car for himself. He never kept any car for him, private car. The devotees would actually take him around everywhere. So the devotees would request a service from him. And likewise I also requested, both of us requested that we could serve him. He said, yes, sure, you can. So we would say, wherever you want to go in Delhi, anywhere, please give us a call and we'll be there. And we lived 1.5 hours away from the temple. We lived in Punjabi Bagh, and he was there in Shri Radha Parthasarthi. But he's regularly agreed. He said, yes, you can come. And he would actually give us the services. We would travel all the way from Punjabi Bagh and pick him up from the airport, drop him to the big temple. Somebody has to manage the kids. So we would drop him to the big temple, and then it would be whole day we would be there, taking him to from the big temple to any other engagement wherever he was required to go. we would take him there, and we would be there for whole day, till late night even sometimes. And I had 2 children. I have 2 children. At that time, they were very young. My son was 8 and the daughter was 12. But then I would manage with them. We had the grandparents whom we would leave the kids with. And likewise, this happened over the period of time until last year when Guru Maharaj left. It was still happening that way. Though the car services were, actually he got a private car in the year 2010 or so, because everybody wanted him to have his own car now. So in the temple also, and all the devotees, disciples, they wanted him to have his own car, so he could go anywhere to the doctors, everywhere he could go in his car. So somehow he agreed and the car was gifted to him. But then till say year 2009 or 10, we would always grab the services. We would always take him wherever he wanted to go, and many times to Vrindavan also. And we would attend him, or of course, if he did not go with us even, we would actually follow him to the Rath Yatras in north of India, wherever they happened. Be it Ludhiana, Kurukshetra, Patiala, everywhere, we would follow him. We would go with him. We would take his Sangha, association. Because I am from a Sikh background and I had read in the Granth Sahib throughout my life. My mother, she used to read Granth Sahib, we had it at home. And she had always encouraged me also to do so. When I used to go to school, in the morning she would say that I should read a bit and then go. And in the evening before going to bed, she would again had put me in a habit of reading it. So likewise, I would always read the Granth Sahib, and when I grew up, I was always reading it. But then when my mother, she told me, like, she used to get up early in the morning at 3:30 every day. We used to watch since kids. And I used to ask her, why you get up so early? What's the need for you to get up so early in the morning? But she said, no, we should get up early in the morning. And she would get up at 3:30, take a shower, we had a small room, like we usually have like a temple room. It's where the Guru Granth Sahib is there. So she would go in the morning, take a shower and read the Granth Sahib every day. Every day she would do that. And every day before retiring to bed, again she would go and read it. And sometimes in the afternoon also she would read it. So she had this habit in her. And then only after doing so, she would enter the kitchen and cook. And she was a pure vegetarian throughout her life. So that is how my mother was. And then when I met Guru Maharaj, then Guru Maharaj asked us to we were already chanting, because we had started chanting 16 rounds the day we had gone to Vrindavan. The first time we went to Vrindavan, so we chanted the first round at Prabhupada's Samadhi, and then we started chanting 16 rounds every day. And when we entered the Punjabi Bagh temple, we were already chanting 16 rounds and learning all the regulative principles. We were trying to follow them. And by the month of June 99, we had already left onion and garlic. And then we met Guru Maharaj. It was the month of July or August it was. We met him because he returned from US and then he came to the temple. And so when he came to the temple, we were there in the temple, and that was a Saturday feast we had every Saturday in Punjabi Bagh temple. So Guru Maharaj had come that day to Punjabi Bagh, and I didn't know who sannyasis are at that time. I was chanting, but we knew Prabhupada at that time, or the temple president. Then I did not know who sannyasis are, what initiation is. I had never inquired about that. I was just happy chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles. Then that day there was a Saturday feast, and I saw a huge crowd around a person who was in saffron. And that was Guru Maharaj, of course. So Guru Maharaj had come and people had surrounded him, the devotees, and he had gone to take darshan. He had gone to take darshan of the deities, and he was coming out. And he was holding a flower in his hand. And I didn't know who he is exactly. And I was away from the crowds. I never actually went into the crowds. I stayed a bit away from the crowds. I was standing there aloof near the gates. And Guru Maharaj was supposed to, after coming out of the altar, he was supposed to turn right to go into a hall to give the lecture. But then I saw this man coming towards me with a flower in his hand. I didn't know how to react. But then I saw Guru Maharaj came to me. He did not say a word. We didn't exchange any words. I didn't know I had to bow down or anything. I didn't know what to do. He just looked at me and he handed the flower to me. And I just took it. And he looked into my eyes. I just took the flower. He turned back. He went to the hall to give a lecture. I came home. So I didn't know who he is, but he just gave the flower to me. And we came home, and the next day, it was Sunday, and my children always relished the khichdi prasadam from the temple. Every Sunday, that was their breakfast. A big casserole from the temple. My husband would go and get it, and the kids would have that for breakfast. So that Sunday also, my Prabhuji, he left with a casserole to the temple. And usually on Sunday early mornings, I never went because kids were at home. So he went, he took the casserole with him, and there he meets Guru Maharaj again. So he has an introduction with Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj, he tells Guru Maharaj that my wife also chants. I chant, my wife also chants. And Guru Maharaj said, I would like to meet your wife. Then he calls me up from the temple that there is a sannyasi. He wants to meet you. I said, I cannot come. I am not ready to come as yet. And it will take at least 25 minutes or 20 minutes for me to get ready and come. So he tells Guru Maharaj that she cannot come, maybe some other day you can meet her. So Guru Maharaj said, how long will she take? He said she would take 20-25 minutes, so Maharaj, you can continue with your journey, you can continue with your travel to the east, to Shri Radha Parthasarthi. He had to give a lecture there. So Guru Maharaj said, no, tell her I will wait for her. So then he calls me up again and says, no, you have to come, he's waiting for you. Then I came, and then I met Guru Maharaj, and that was the day. After that, I never left him. We were always with him, always following him. And then Guru Maharaj told me, he gave us initiation in 2001 then. And people sometimes they ask me, for the initiation I see people, they actually aspire and they are just after initiation. That we want initiation. They think initiation is something like it has to be taken just for the sake of being taken. I'm not discouraging anybody. It is that the initiation for me was that I should become so worthy that Guru Maharaj would say, Res, I want you to be my disciple. I want you to take initiation. So I wanted to serve him like that. We were serving very strictly. We were taking all the services, going for all his classes, and wherever I would know that he's giving a lecture, whether it is 4 places in Delhi, in the morning in east of Kailash, in the afternoon in Noida, in the evening in east of Delhi, we would go to all 3 of them. We would want to be there, take his association when he was in Delhi. The maximum part of association I wanted. Because I had read in the Granth Sahib, Darshan parsiye Guru ke janam maran dukh jaye. When you take the darshan of the spiritual master, you are out of the cycle of birth and death. You'll be out of all the distress in this world. So I was actually following everything theoretically. Sometimes we think, oh, it's just theory, It can't happen. It just, for the sake of reading, it's very good. But I was taking it the literal meaning. Yes, we should be doing this. And sometimes Guru Maharaj would be surprised. Once he was from America, he had just reached Delhi. I came to know in the evening he's in Delhi. He just came in the afternoon or early morning from America. And he's in Punjab, he's in Shri Radha Parthasarthi temple. So I told my husband that it was a working day and he was at his office. So I said, I would like to go and take darshan. And we had not informed the temple, asked any of Guru Maharaj's servants even. So because I just wanted to take his darshan, I had nothing to say, nothing to disturb him for anything. So I said, we should go and take darshan. These are very early days I'm talking about, must be 99 or 2000. 99 I met him, it was year 2000 maybe. So both of us went to the Shri Radha Parthasarthi, and Guru Maharaj he had come out of his room and he was going to take a round in the temple because he had just landed in the afternoon. So Guru Maharaj was very surprised to see us. He looked at us and he said, you've come all the way from Punjab, but there was no session today, no class was there. I said, no, Guru Maharaj, we had just come to take your darshan. So he said, do you have anything to say to me, anything, something that's disturbing or something? I said, no, nothing. We just came to bow down, we just came to pay obeisances, that's all. We have just come for darshan. And he was very surprised. He said, all the way from Punjab, you came just for take darshan? I said, yes, that is why we have come. So that's how it was. We would sit for hours and hours in his room, but we had nothing to exchange, nothing to talk. I just wanted to listen what he's talking, that's all. So it happened over the period of time, and then 2001 he said, I'm giving you initiation this year on Moksha Ekadashi. I'm going to initiate both of you. And that's how he gave us the initiation. He only decided for us when he would give us. And he gave us the initiation on Moksha Ekadashi. And then it was 2001, then we traveled to the 2002, after the initiation, we went to Mayapur with him for the parikrama. And I would carry a video camera and all that time. I was just, at that time I was only 36. You have to mute them. So they were, I was 36 and Prabhuji was 38 at that time. And being a businesswoman, I was now not interested in carrying on my business anymore. I could not take it because once I told Guru Maharaj, in Panjai Bagh temple, very few people come. Like I was from Panjai Bagh, but I had never been to the center. I said, the philosophy is so great, everything is so great, but very few people come here. So Guru Maharaj, I said, I am from Panjai Bagh, I cannot see anybody from Panjai Bagh in the temple. So he said, why don't you preach then? Then I said, I'm not perfect, I haven't read the Bhagavad Gita as well till now. He said, you will become perfect. You start preaching. And I started giving lectures. Whatever I used to hear from him, I used to go to the temple. I remember on Wednesday mornings, I started taking up a session with the ladies. I would invite the ladies there and then we would have a session on Bhagavad Gita. I would teach, I would read and study Bhagavad Gita with them. And in the evenings, I would go and attend all the classes for the Bhagavad Gita classes that happened in the evening. And likewise, I did many sessions, 6-day session and all these sessions. I was so inquisitive that everything took a back seat in my life. My business, it took a back seat now. And then finally one day I winded up all my business. I said, I don't want to continue anymore. And I want to serve Guru Maharaj always. I want to serve the mission. So I was taking up the classes, I was preaching, and one day I had gone to some city, a very near city that is just a few kilometers from Delhi. I'd gone to give a lecture there. And there were many, many people. It was all, there were 100 and 150 people there. So I used to report to Guru Maharaj all the time. And when I came out from the session after giving it, everybody loved it. So I called up Guru Maharaj and said, everybody is so happy, Maharaj. I gave a class to nearly 150 people there. So Guru Maharaj said, and I told him the city's name. I said I was at this city near Delhi. He said, Radhika Krpa, I want you to be an international preacher. Not only this city, you will travel the world and you will preach. I want you to be an international preacher. You have my blessings to do so in every part or anywhere on this planet, he said. So once he wrote an email to me and he put that in his email as well, the same message. He said, I want you to spread the message of Krishna consciousness in the entire world. So I took that very seriously, every word of the spiritual master. So every word of the spiritual master is very important. For me, speaking on the memories with Guru Maharaj is actually to inspire the world that yes, we are under the bona fide Guru Parampara and we are actually under bona fide spiritual masters. So whenever the Guru gives us any instruction, it's not in vain. It is just not for the sake of giving instruction. The instructions are meant to be followed. If you follow them sincerely, you will have everything in this world. You will be, in spiritual life, you will be excellent, and the material world actually becomes best when you are actually following the spiritual life perfectly, trying to follow it perfectly. The material world will not disturb you. So this is how Guru Maharaj was. He actually encouraged me and encouraged my husband as well. And when he said, I want you to preach, I took that one day I'll have to accomplish these words. Whatever he has said, I have to do that. You see, it's not that if the spiritual master tells you to do something and then he empowers you also. When he empowers, it doesn't mean that he will give you a ticket and say, go and preach, and he will set all the stage for you there. No. You have to take the endeavor. You have to take the effort. So when you take the effort, then actually it's like the blessings flow to you, the mercy flows to you. Like Krishna, In the Damodar Leela we see when the first finger, 2 fingers short the rope was always when Krishna was being tied. The first finger actually denotes our hard work and the second is his blessings. So likewise the Guru blesses according to your hard work. The more you put an effort to please the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is always pleased. We every day do Guru Vashtakam, Sansara Davana, we sing every day. So Guru is the most confidential servant of the Supreme Lord, and he is always happy by serving the Supreme Lord, and he is happy when he sees his disciples, the devotees, they also serve the spiritual, they also serve the Krishna, Supreme Lord. So Guru is always pleased when we serve the Supreme Lord. When we have the prasadam, the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Guru becomes very satisfied. That's what the meaning of Sansar Davanam is. When you actually go into the meanings, you would know. So this is how it is. That the Guru actually empowers you when he gives you an instruction. But that empowerment will start working when you will put a hard effort. So your hard work will repay, provided you actually, you want it sincerely this to happen. That you get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, mercy of the spiritual master. And that flows. So I was always meditating that how can I fulfill these words of Guru Maharaj? I was meditating on these words since he told me this. So then, in 2001, when we were doing the parikrama, I used to follow him. I used to have a camera with me, a video camera. So I would actually, when the parikrama starts, the Mayapur parikrama, Navdeep Mandal parikrama starts, so I used to run ahead of the parikrama. And I used to stand there with a video camera, shoot Guru Maharaj with Jayapataka Maharaj and senior leaders coming up because they always inaugurated the parikrama. So they would be walking towards on the road, and I would film them. And then I would again run ahead and then stand, take a position, and then again film them. And then sometimes Jayapataka Maharaj would come into my camera and say, Radhika Krpa, you are spying on us. And he would laugh. And I had such opportunities, because I used to walk I was ahead of them, and sometimes Jayapataka Maharaj would come towards me and then he speaks to me. Then he would say, oh, you are Punjabi. He knew me very well. And he said, I want to learn some words from you. Asi, tusi. He would talk in Punjabi with me, try to talk and pick up the words from me. And I would tell him. So likewise, I had such a wonderful, relationship because of my spiritual master, because of Guru Maharaj. The relationship with other sannyasis, sadhus, it was like Guru Maharaj was my father and they were all my uncles. They were blessing me so much. So that happened in the parikrama. I would freely go and talk to Jayapataka Maharaj. I would speak to him if I had any problem there while taking prasad or something. Anything would happen, I would freely go and talk to him and tell him, and he would really come out to help. And then I wrote a poem, when we were on the way, I wrote a poem on death. What is death? So I'm not a great writer, but for Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja in 2000, when I was not initiated, so we were invited to his Vyasa Puja. When we went to his Vyasa Puja, somehow I wrote first time in my life a poem on Guru. So when we went there, so I had got it printed and framed it in a small frame. That picture is still my DP in my WhatsApp. That was the year 2000. So I took that frame of the framed poem and I offered it to Guru Maharaj on the stage. And then he tells the people, the MC there, hand over the mic to her. She will read the poem. And that was the first time in my life, to a crowd of more than 1,000 people, I read that poem. And I had never spoken on the stage. I had a stage fright in my school. I would never go on the stage and speak before the crowd. I was a very nervous child in school. But then Guru Maharaj just said, give her the mic and she will read it. Before even looking into the poem, I was so like that he hasn't read it himself. He has so much of trust in me that whatever I will read, it's going to be perfect or something nice. So, but then when I read the poem, the Guru, everybody loved it. Everybody said they wanted a copy of it. And then it happened so that every year the Vyasa Puja, I would write a poem. Once in a year I used to write only on Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja and would read that poem before him on the Vyasa Puja. So likewise, and I wrote a poem, and this second poem when I wrote was when I went to Navdeep Parikrama. On the way I wrote a poem on death. What is death? Is it the end or is it the beginning? So when I wrote this poem, we just reached Mayapur and we got the news. We had reached Mayapur at 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock we get the news that Tamal Krishna Maharaj met with an accident and he has actually left the mortal world. And his body was brought to Mayapur. And we were very new, and I didn't know who Tamal Krishna Maharaj is, rightly. But then his body was brought, it was laid down before the Radha Madhava, and we all had the opportunity of doing the parikrama of his body and touch his feet. We had his darshan. And then his samadhi was done there, and we were there. So after that, the parikram started. We were in the parikram, so Guru Maharaj was sitting in a boat with us, and I just passed on that paper where I had written the death poem, what is death? And so Guru Maharaj read the poem, and I was actually shooting the whole scene when he is reading it and when he's... So when he read the poem, he liked it a lot. He turned the page and he wrote behind that, very good, 100 out of 100. One day publish all your devotional poems. And then this again became a target for me now that I had to get this printed as well. So Guru Maharaj was giving me so many targets to accomplish. And I was always meditating that how I would do them. So in 2006, by 2006 I wrote many other poems on Srila Prabhupada, on Nityananda, on Jagannath Ji, on Vrinda Devi. So I wrote such, on Bhagavad Gita, I wrote many poems and I published them. So there is, in 2006 this book came up, the devotional, that's the Pearls of Devotion. So I offered this to Guru Maharaj on his 206 on his Vyasa Puja, 63rd Vyasa Puja. I actually gifted him this book then. So I said, one target accomplished now. I've done one thing that he had ordered me to do. So the next, and during this time when I was heading towards 2006, as I said, I would quote something from the Granth Sahib while Guru Maharaj was there reading. When he used to give some Bhagavad Gita shloka or Bhagavatam shloka, it was very spontaneous for me sometimes to just speak a shloka from the Guru Granth Sahib. And Guru Maharaj is Punjabi himself, so he understood it very well, and he used to go to Gurdwaras. He went to Gurdwaras with me also. Twice he went to Golden Temple with me. So he told me, okay, one day you should put everything in a book form now. So another target he gave me now, that you have to, he used to tell me, write a book on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And I thought, how can I write? I'm not a writer, and you need a lot of evidence, you need a lot of, everything should be very perfect when you write a book like this that has to go to the world. It should be very authentic. But then I was not writing, I was very scared to write anything like this because I'm not a scholar. But then Guru Maharaj was kept on telling me that now and then he would say, write a book. And I never replied. I never said yes, never said no, and just kept quiet. But one day we were in Vrindavan in the year 2007, the June year 2007, we were in the office of the then president, Devamrit Prabhu, now he is Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. So Devamrit Prabhu was the president of Vrindavan. He was in the room in his office and the meeting was there. My Prabhuji was there, I was there, a few other guests were there, Guru Maharaj was there. So as I entered, we entered, Guru Maharaj said to Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, that, do you know her? And he said, yes, a little bit. He did know me, a little bit by face. So he said, yes. And Guru Maharaj said, she has written a book on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And I had not written a single word. Guru Maharaj was always telling me, but I had not done anything. But then Guru Maharaj told him she has written. And he looked at me and he appreciated what I've done. And then I had to say yes. I had not written and I'm saying yes, thank you. But then I thought I have to write now because Guru Maharaj has told me it's enough now. So it was his Vyasa Puja coming up in August, and that was mid of June already. So when we came back to Delhi, that was mid of June, I started writing the book. I remember I would sit in my drawing room with all the scriptures around me, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the Granth Sahib, Guru Granth Sahib. I would all have them together, and for 10 to 12 hours every day, I would sit down and write. Because I keep on telling everybody that time there was no Google and there was no GPT or AI. I had to do all the research on my own. It was all manual, everything. But it was all something coming up by on its own. It was like Guru Maharaj had really empowered something. I would just go into the scripture and I would find everything as it is already there laid down before me. Somebody has already done it and I just have to pick it up and write. I would open the pages like this. I would say, yes, this is the verse I'm looking for. That matches with the Bhagavatam. That matches with the Bhagavad Gita. And I could do it. So I wrote a 100-page book until the last day that came up, August. That was the mid of August. I'd come and it was, Vyas Puja was fast approaching. So I had talked to the printer. I said, if I get the book just like 4-5 days ahead of the deadline, would you please give us? And he said, okay, I'll try my level best. So I remember it was, Vyas Puja was just say another 4 or 5 days left. And I went to the printer. I said, the book is almost done, but I have not done any editing. I haven't read it, no proofreading, nothing. I think so we'll go with like that. And no subheadings have been given as yet. So I said, just give me 1 or 2 hours here only, so I can just give the headings. And it was the last minute I was writing the headings and he was pulling the book from me. I said, somehow I did the headings. And there was a very important verse actually that popped up. Because I was not aware of that verse by that time even, that it is there in the Granth Sahib. But that verse actually popped up at that time. And then I said, you have to give me a few minutes more. And then I quoted that verse, and that went with the verse where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ek Ekala Krishna, or Sarvabhritya. That's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And similar verse comes in the Granth Sahib, Ek Krishna Sarvadeva Devatma. Same verse. And then I quoted that. And then he took it for printing. And just one day before the book came out, all printed before Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja. So I offered him on the 2007 year, the Vyasa Puja, I offered the book to Guru Maharaj. Igbo. So I have a small video also where it's compiled on some few pictures and this video as well, where I'm presenting this book to Guru Maharaj in 2007. And then Guru Maharaj, there was a meeting, August 2007, the book comes up, and then, yeah, this, if you can make it. Yeah. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So this is how it happened. This you have seen the 2007 video where I offered the book to Guru Maharaj, and then it happened. So the Guru Maharaj went for some meetings after his Vyasa Puja, and that meetings were where Jayapataka Maharaj was present. And then he tells Jayapataka Maharaj that she has written a book on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And Jayapataka Maharaj, after the meeting, it was over at like 11 o'clock in the night, the meeting must have got over. And then his servant calls me at 11:30 in the night, and he says, then Maharaj wants to speak to you. And then Jayapataka Maharaj spoke to me and he said, Radhika Krpa, I've heard you've written the book. How many copies can you give me? I said, as many as you want, Maharaj. He said, okay, come over, bring the copies, come tomorrow to the domestic airport, Delhi domestic airport. I'm leaving for Hong Kong and London. So you bring the books there, I will carry them with me. And I reached the airport. That's another story that I wanted to take the service of dropping him, because his servant said, we had an SUV car, and he said, you bring your SUV so we can put his luggage and take Maharaj to the international airport. And my husband could not go that day because there was the Punjabi Bagh temple, Krishna Balram were coming there. So they were all making arrangements, and the Punjabi Bagh temple had just gone big. It was small in the garage when we joined him, and Guru Maharaj wanted a bigger temple to come up, so he gave the responsibility to Prabhuji to look for some place big. And then he found one. And Guru Maharaj was in Russia at that time. And he told Guru Maharaj, we told him on the phone that we have found a place. And he said, yes, very good, I want to come and have a look. And he said, what time, Maharaj, when would you like to? He says, as I land in Delhi. And he was landing at 3:30 a.m. in Delhi. That's midnight here. He landed at 3:30 a.m. and he says, right from here we will go to see the place. So we took him from the airport, we brought him to the place in Delhi where the temple stands now. So we brought him there, and then Guru Maharaj looked around. It was like 3:45 in the morning, and we were 4 or 5 of us only. So he looked around the place and he said, it's very nice. And he said, but where is the money? So the temple had only 15 lakhs at that time, and the place was about 3 CR. And he said, temple does not have money. How will we go ahead with it? So there's Guru Maharaj, our senior god brother, Ved Vyas Prabhu, and he was with us. He said, Maharaj, that you don't worry, money part you don't worry, you just say you like it, and you approve it, and we will go ahead with it. And that happened. We all had many meetings in our home. It was in our home the meetings would happen, and then the fundraising happened, and we got the temple in 6 months we bought it. So that's Guru Maharaj's blessings. So we got the temple land, and the temple was being built. And he again designed that temple, and the Punjabi Bagh temple came up. So now we are growing more bigger. Before leaving the planet, Guru Maharaj actually blessed, and the adjacent land was brought, and now we are demolishing that temple and making it double the size now. So this is how it happened. Then Jayapataka Maharaj came and he took the books, and then I drove him to the international airport as well. I had the opportunity to drive Jayapataka Maharaj. So I drove him, and he read my book. I have pictures where I'm reading the whole book to him. Then he carried the book. So likewise, this is the blessings of Guru Maharaj that I could do that. So after these, you can see these books, then the memoirs. This is the memoirs. Actually, I'm finished with all the copies in New York. I brought 150 books, and all got distributed in New York, New Jersey and New York. I'm finished with all the books. This is the, Mataji had her copy, Nishthamurti Mataji. So this is the memoirs book with 200 of my candid pictures with Guru Maharaj and my memoirs with him. So I wrote this book, I wrote the Guru book, Guru the Spiritual Father, and I gifted these 2 books in 2023. The Vyas Puja we celebrated. We did not know this would be the last physical Vyas Puja we would be celebrating with our Guru Maharaj. So otherwise always I used to write 1 book sometimes. And then that year, I don't know what happened to me, and I said that I will write a book on the Guru as well. And I wrote 2 books simultaneously. And these 2 books I offered to Guru Maharaj, that Vyas Puja. and he was very happy. And in March 2024, just he left the planet in on May 5th. In March 2024, I told Guru Maharaj, I'm writing another book, Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj, I want your foreword. He said, sure, I'll give you. But what is the title of your book? And the title of my book was Death the Unstoppable. And he said, very nice title. He said that. And he said, of course, I'll give you the foreword. But then the Rohini temple opening came up on the 17th of April, 2024. And after that, we had 21st April, Guru Maharaj gave the Bhagavatam class. We attended 28th April, he gave the Bhagavatam class. We were there. And in fact, on 28th April, he gave the Bhagavatam class and I gave the Sunday feast lecture in the Shri Shri Radha Parthasarthi temple. I was there the whole day. And then he left for Dehradun on the 30th of April. So that was never to return physically to the temple back in Delhi. So, and we reached Dehradun on Saturday morning as we came to know that he had his heart had stopped for a few seconds. We came to know at 6 o'clock in the morning it was 3rd of May. So we reached there by 1 o'clock on the 3rd of May. We were there. And then the 4th of May, he left this mortal world. It was 5th May early morning. So the 4th of May we were there. Sorry, it is 4th of May. We were there. 4th of May, 6 o'clock in the morning, we came to know his heart stopped for a few seconds. Then we left from Delhi. We were there. And when 1 o'clock we were there, 1:30, the servant had come from the room and he said, Guru Maharaj he is looking for his beads, and beads he could not hold. So he's asking for a clicker. And that was sent to the room, and then the servant came back immediately and he said, the doctors have turned him out because Guru Maharaj has got an attack again. And that was then he was put on a ventilator, and in the morning, 9 o'clock again he had a heart attack, and then Loknath Maharaj came, he went to the room and he just said, Hare Krishna to Guru Maharaj, and his lips moved and he left. So Guru Maharaj just said Hare Krishna back, and then he was gone, physically gone from us. But of course, he's always there with his Vani, he's always with us, he's blessing us, he's always there. There are many, many more stories. I don't know if I continue, that will go on till ages. I can go on. So my Prabhuji made many temples. He is involved in the 6 projects which he has done, in all for Guru Maharaj's pleasure, Srila Prabhupada's pleasure, because Guru Maharaj wanted him to make temples, and he made the Pinjai temple, then came up the Bahadurgarh temple. So we can have the other reel also, that's other video. That's what the temples offered to Guru Maharaj. So he made the Bahadurgarh temple in 2018, and then came up the Faridabad Badshahpur temple, and the latest is the Rohini temple. So Rohini temple is just like a palace, and Guru Maharaj really loved it. He was very happy with the temple. And even Radhanath Maharaj just visited recently, and he said that this is a masterpiece of art. That temple is a masterpiece of art. He said, you have laid down a benchmark now. Everybody has to compete with this temple to prove that they are beautiful, that they are magnificent. So that temple has a lot of art and architecture in it. And that temple is so made that it may stay for at least hundreds of years. It's made in solid, it is you would say patthar ka bana hua, stone. It's all stonework. It's a beautifully carved stone. So we can have just a glimpse of those temples that were made. Okay. The temple is actually, it's famous as the Rohini temple. If you just put ISKCON Rohini on the YouTube, ISKCON Rohini inauguration opening, you'll get hundreds of reels and the videos of that temple. Whole world, most of the YouTubers in Delhi, they have covered it. The reels are there, with millions of views, the reels are there. Famous bloggers have actually covered it. And the Govindas, everything is very magnificent there. There is Pancha Tattva deities there. After the Laguna Beach temple, that is the one temple in North India which has the Panch Tattva, after Mayapur as well. No, it is not this one, the second other one. This is the same one. No, not this. Up there? The second one, yeah, that's right. I can see. That's it. Yeah, it's a bit of heavy file, it is, I can see. So, there are many memories are there, but unfortunately I'll get the books next year and you can have these ordered to Nishthamurti Mataji so she can get the copies for you all. So there are, yeah, that's it. No, please carry on.
Rashpriya Prabhu is here. आप सब लोग रासप्रिया प्रभु को जानते हैं?
तो इन्होंने ये बहुत प्रयास किया उनको खूबसूरत बनाने के लिए।
इन्होंने बहुत प्रयास किया इस मंदिर को खूबसूरत बनाने के लिए।
और वैसे ये मंदिर एक साल पहले तैयार हो जाता।
वैसे ये मंदिर एक साल पहले तैयार हो जाता।
और हम लोग ने निर्णय किया था खूबसूरत बनाना।
लेकिन हम लोगों ने ये निर्णय लिया कि मंदिर को खूबसूरत बनाना है।
ने कोई निर्णय नहीं छोड़ा तो इसको खूबसूरत बनाना है।
वेदव्यास प्रभु ने कोई भी मतलब चीज छोड़ी नहीं है इस मंदिर को खूबसूरत बनाने के लिए।
हरे कृष्णा। एक्चुअल में जब हमने बहादुरगढ़ कंप्लीट किया तो गुरु महाराज ने कहा इट्स ब्यूटीफुल, तो और फिर उसके बाद गुरु महाराज ने कहा नाउ यू हैव टू गो टू रोहिणी। तो मैंने कहा महाराज इट विल बी ब्यूटीफुल। तो गुरु महाराज ने कहा नो नो इट हैज टू बी मच मच ब्यूटीफुल। वो सब उन्हीं की वजह से है। तो ये हमने सब कंप्लीट किया है और अब आप लोगों को देखने के बाद मुझे लग रहा है कि महाराज का वचन जो है वो पूरा हो गया है।
हरे कृष्णा। तो आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इस मंदिर में। ये सिर्फ गुरु महाराज की कृपा से हुआ है। जब हमने ज्वाइन किया था 99 में, तो जैसे बीएन प्रभु जी ने कहा कि मैं मंगल आरती रोज जाती थी और प्रभु जी भी जाते थे, तो हम लोग देखते थे कि रोहिणी से लोग आते हैं एवरी सैटरडे, एक बस भरकर आती है और वहाँ प्रचार की बहुत ज़रूरत थी। लोग बुलाते थे हमें और गुरु महाराज के साथ हम अक्सर जाते थे, बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स। गुरु महाराज एक के बाद एक दूसरे घर में जाते थे और हम तब नए जुड़े थे। हम गुरु महाराज को हर जगह फॉलो करते हुए रोहिणी के कई घरों में जाते थे प्रवचन सुनने के लिए, और यहाँ लोग बहुत जुड़े हुए थे। एंड देन गुरु महाराज को सब कहते थे रोहिणी में मंदिर कब बनेगा। फिर हम रथ यात्रा में गुरु महाराज के साथ बहुत बार आए। रोहिणी की रथ यात्रा बहुत फेमस हो गई। एंड जैसे प्रभु जी ने कहा कि फिर ये स्थान मिला, बीएन प्रभु जी कह रहे हैं, तो गुरु महाराज ने कहा इस स्थान पे फिर कंस्ट्रक्शन शुरू हुआ। तो प्रभु जी का यही था कि ये बहुत सुंदर बनना चाहिए। गुरु महाराज का यही था कि ये सब दिल्ली के सब मंदिरों से मच मोर ब्यूटीफुल होना चाहिए। तो हम शायद इसमें कामयाब हुए हैं थोड़ा बहुत, आप सबकी कृपा से और गुरु महाराज की ब्लेसिंग से। हरे कृष्णा। Now I'm reading it.
I go.
So that's another temple. End में आप देख रहे हैं, that's another temple that's coming up. It will open up in August 31st, 2025 this year. That is again second temple in Gurgaon. That is he's making again. That is making, and it will open up. We have promised Guru Maharaj again that it will be very beautiful. I told Guru Maharaj, and recently Guru Prasad Maharaj, who is the GBC now, for the same places where Guru Maharaj actually trained him before leaving the planet. Guru Maharaj actually before us we could see, he invited Guru Prasad Maharaj and he told him everything about the places he was actually taking care of, all the temples, and he was training him, telling him everything. Guru Maharaj knew he would be leaving the planet very soon. He had actually organized everything. And then Guru Prasad Maharaj visited this place with us recently, very recently, when we were deciding on the dates when to open. So Guru Prasad Maharaj was there and I asked him, I said, Guru Prasad Maharaj, how do you like the temple? Because I had promised to Guru Maharaj that it will be very beautiful when it comes up. It's a small temple, but and Rohini is a large temple with 1,75,000 square feet area. And this is a small temple. But then it will come into a small medium temple. So Guru Prasad Maharaj said, it's very, very, very beautiful. I said, now I'm satisfied that Guru Maharaj will be very pleased with it, because we had promised him that we will give him another beautiful temple. So I thank you all for listening to me and saying the glories of the spiritual master, glories of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, because he was a Prabhupada man. He never actually ever deviated from any instruction of Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada had told him that Prabhupada wanted 18 temples in Delhi, 1.5 dozen temples in Delhi. And there is a line here that we will include in this. I'm just remembering we should have included in this video, where Guru Maharaj said, my job is done now. I had a promise with my spiritual master to offer him 1.5 dozen temples, and today Rohini is the 18th temple. So you see, we should learn from our spiritual father that the instructions given to us must be followed by the instructions that we get from our spiritual master. And that's what Guru Maharaj taught all of us. What he got from Prabhupada, he did it. He tried to complete that. And what we got from our Guru Maharaj, we should all try to do that. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Gaudidai ki jai. God Premanande. Hare Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.